Every day, people waste the most valuable thing they have, time. They pour it into people who don't care, distractions that don't matter, and habits that hold them back. The truth. If you want to change your life, you need to stop giving your time away so cheaply. This message is a wake-up call. Focus on yourself, protect your energy, and build the life only you can create. Stop wasting your time. Scrolling, complaining, waiting for someone else to fix your life. That's time you're never getting back. You know what happens when you waste your time? You start living someone else's life. You start chasing their goals, their approval, their validation. And at the end of the day, you're empty. Focus on yourself. Because here's the truth. No one's coming to save you. No one's waking you up earlier. No one's forcing you to chase your goals. That's on you. The hours you spend comparing your life to someone else's, you could be using them to build the life you want. The energy you spend on gossip, drama, distractions, you could be using it to sharpen your mind, your skills, your future. Every time you say yes to what doesn't matter, you're saying no to what does. And that trade will always cost you more than you think. So set boundaries. Protect your time. Invest in yourself like your future depends on it, because it does. Remember this, you are the project. You are the priority. And until you start treating yourself that way, you'll keep giving your time to things that don't deserve it. Focus on yourself. Stop wasting your time, because your future self is watching and counting on you. Time is the most valuable currency you'll ever have, and the hardest part for most people to understand is that it's constantly slipping away whether you notice it or not. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose energy and rest to recover it, but the hours you waste are gone forever. Every single day you're spending time, whether you're aware of it or not. And the question isn't if you'll spend it, it's where. The cruel reality is that most people treat their time like it's infinite, like there's always more coming, and that illusion makes them careless with it. They hand it away to meaningless distractions, to conversations that don't matter, to habits that don't serve them, as if they'll get a refund later. But there is no refund. There is no pause button. You are living right now in this moment, and the clock does not stop just because you're not paying attention. Think about how much of your day is stolen by things that don't build you, things that don't move you forward, things that don't align with the life you claim to want. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, an hour gone to scrolling, another wasted on complaining, and suddenly a week has disappeared. And it's not just the minutes, it's what those minutes could have been. Every small action you put off, every opportunity you ignore, every dream you delay is a piece of your life that could have been lived differently. The scariest thing about wasted time is not that it's gone, it's that you'll never know what it could have become if you had chosen differently. People say they don't have time to work on themselves. They don't have time to read, to build, to start that project, to chase that goal. But it's not that they don't have time, it's that they're spending it on the wrong things. Time is the one currency everyone has, but not everyone values. Some invest it wisely and it multiplies. Some spend it recklessly and it vanishes without return. Every moment is a choice, and the way you spend your time is the clearest reflection of what actually matters to you. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to lose focus on yourself, because the moment you start measuring your progress against someone else's, you rob yourself of the chance to see how far you've truly come. Everyone's life runs on a different timeline, and yet so many people treat success like it's a race, as if whoever reaches a certain milestone first automatically wins. But the truth is, comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20 will never make sense. You don't see their struggles, their failures, their late nights, their sacrifices. You only see the highlight reel, the polished surface they choose to show the world, and you measure yourself against that incomplete picture. What that does is shift your attention away from building your own path, and suddenly all your energy is wasted worrying about where you stand in relation to them. The danger of comparison is subtle but powerful. It doesn't just make you feel behind, it tricks you into chasing things that were never meant for you in the first place. You start adopting goals that don't align with your values, you start mimicking habits that don't fit your life, you start running after recognition that wouldn't even fulfill you if you got it. And while you're busy trying to live someone else's definition of success, you stop nurturing your own. What you forget in those moments is that nobody else has your exact journey, your exact strengths, or your exact vision. What they're building is theirs, and what you're meant to build is yours. Comparison also blinds you to growth. Instead of noticing that you're further ahead than you were last month, last year, or even yesterday, you dismiss your progress because it doesn't look like someone else's. You downplay your wins, ignore your milestones, and tell yourself you're not enough even though you're moving forward. The energy that could have been fueling your next step is now being drained by doubt, jealousy, and frustration. The more you look sideways, the less you can look ahead. The more you study someone else's lane, the more you drift out of your own. When you stop comparing and start focusing on your own progress, That's when you realize the only real competition has always been with the person you were yesterday. Energy is one of the most underestimated resources we have, and most people don't even realize how much of it they give away to things that don't matter. It's not just about the hours in your day. It's about the quality of those hours, the focus you bring, the mindset you carry. And every time you get caught in distractions like gossip, endless scrolling, negative conversations, or meaningless arguments, you're leaking energy that could have been used to build something real. Energy leaks don't always look obvious. They hide in the small habits that feel harmless in the moment, but leave you drained by the end of the day, wondering why you're too tired to do the things you actually care about. Think about how often you get pulled into drama that has nothing to do with you. A friend complains, someone posts something online that irritates you, a coworker tries to pull you into their negativity. Each time you give a piece of your energy away. And when it's gone, it doesn't come back. What people don't realize is that wasted energy is just as damaging as wasted time because the two are connected. If your energy is scattered, your time is wasted. If your energy is focused, your time becomes powerful. The truth is, distractions don't just steal your attention for a moment, they steal your ability to fully engage with your own life. You might spend an hour scrolling through other people's highlights and think it's harmless, but what you've actually done is feed your brain comparison, envy, and noise. Now, when it's time to focus on your own goals, you're already exhausted, mentally cluttered, and unmotivated. Energy leaks like that don't just slow you down, they sabotage your ability to even start. Protecting your energy means becoming ruthless about where you put your attention. It means asking yourself before you engage, does this move me forward or does this drain me? Every conversation, every habit, every piece of content you consume is either building your energy or bleeding it dry. The more leaks you allow, the weaker your focus becomes, and the weaker your focus, the further you drift from the life you want. Energy, like time, has to be guarded, and the way you guard it determines how much of yourself you'll actually have left to invest in your own growth. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you are saying no to yourself. It feels small in the moment, almost harmless, but the weight of those choices adds up more than most people realize. You agree to go places you don't want to go. You commit to projects that don't align with your goals. You give your time to people who drain your energy instead of fueling it. On the surface, it looks like kindness, flexibility, or just being easygoing, but underneath, it's self-neglect. Because what you've really done is traded away the hours and energy you could have invested in your own growth, your own rest, your own future. The trap of constantly saying yes is that it makes you feel productive when in reality, it's just keeping you busy. You get caught in this cycle of trying to please everyone else, of trying to avoid conflict or disappointment, and in the process, you push your own priorities further and further down the list. You start treating your dreams like leftovers, giving them whatever scraps of time and attention are left after everyone else has had their share. And then you wonder why you feel stuck, unfulfilled, or like you're running in place. It's because you've been spending your life on someone else's terms, not your own. What makes it harder is that most of the things you say yes to aren't bad in themselves. They might even be good opportunities, fun moments, or helpful gestures. But not every good thing is the right thing for you. The most successful and fulfilled people are not the ones who do everything. They're the ones who choose carefully what to do. They understand that every yes carries a cost, and if the cost is their peace, their energy, or their progress, it's too expensive. Learning to say no is not about shutting people out. It's about protecting the space you need to build the life you actually want. The reality is that time is finite. You cannot be everywhere, you cannot do everything, and you cannot give to everyone without draining yourself dry. So every yes must be weighed against what it's costing you, because with each one, you are either investing in your own future or slowly giving it away piece by piece. Self-investment is the difference between staying the same and becoming who you're meant to be. Yet most people treat it like an optional luxury instead of a necessity. They'll spend hours giving their energy to entertainment, distractions, or other people's approval, but when it comes to putting that same effort into themselves, they hesitate. They tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, when they have more time, when they feel more motivated, when things settle down. But tomorrow turns into weeks, weeks turn into months, and suddenly years pass with nothing to show but a list of excuses. The truth is, the future you dream about depends entirely on what you're doing with your time right now, and if you're not investing in yourself today, you're already delaying that future. Self-investment doesn't just mean money, it means the choices you make every single day. It means reading the book that stretches your mind instead of scrolling through endless noise. It means taking care of your health instead of waiting until you're forced to. It means practicing your craft when nobody's watching, sharpening your skills when nobody's clapping, and pushing yourself when it would be easier to give in. These small decisions compound over time, just like money invested grows with interest. And what feels insignificant today can completely transform who you are in a year. The challenge is that investing in yourself rarely gives you instant gratification. You don't read one page and suddenly become wise. You don't work out once and suddenly feel strong. You don't practice for a week and suddenly master a skill. The rewards are delayed, and because of that, most people quit before they see the payoff. But what they fail to realize is that consistency is the bridge between where they are and where they want to be, and every bit of effort is a brick laid on that path. Choosing to neglect yourself is easier in the short term, but it's the most expensive decision you can make in the long term. Because every day you avoid investing in yourself, the gap between who you are and who you could be gets wider, and nobody else can close that gap for you. It's your responsibility, your work, your commitment. Self-investment is not selfish, it's survival, and the quality of your future depends entirely on how much you're willing to pour into yourself right now. Discipline is often misunderstood as restriction, as if it's about limiting your life or taking away your freedom. But the truth is, discipline is the very thing that creates freedom, because when you control your focus, you control your direction. And when you control your direction, you control your life. Without discipline, you're at the mercy of impulses, distractions, and emotions that shift from moment to moment. You wake up saying you'll get things done, but by the end of the day, you've accomplished nothing because you let your feelings decide your actions instead of your principles. Discipline doesn't ask you how you feel, it asks you what needs to be done, and it pushes you to do it whether you feel like it or not. That is where true freedom begins, when your actions are no longer slaves to your moods. Most people waste their potential not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack discipline. They start strong, fueled by motivation, but motivation fades, and without discipline, they stop. Discipline is what carries you past the days when you don't feel inspired, when progress feels slow, when nobody is watching. It's the silent work that nobody applauds, the unglamorous choices that nobody sees, but it's also the foundation that makes the visible success possible later. Every rep, every page, every early morning, every late night, it all stacks, brick by brick, until the structure of your future is standing solid. The thing about discipline is that it demands sacrifice. You cannot have discipline and comfort at the same time. You will give up sleep, convenience, entertainment, and sometimes even approval from others. But what you gain in return is control over your life. When you are disciplined, you are no longer tossed around by the chaos of the world. You set your own pace, you follow your own standard, and you become someone who can be counted on, not just by others, but by yourself. That kind of trust in yourself changes everything, because you stop doubting your ability to follow through. You know that if you say you're going to do it, you will. And that confidence, born out of discipline, opens doors that nothing else can. Because when you master your focus, you don't just survive the day, you own it. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are lines to protect what you're building, and without them, progress becomes impossible. Every time you let someone pull you into their drama, every time you allow others to dictate how you spend your time, every time you ignore your own priorities to satisfy theirs, you weaken the structure of your own life. People will always take as much as you allow them to, not out of malice, but because it's human nature to gravitate toward what's freely given. That's why it's your responsibility to draw the line and decide what gets your time, your energy, and your focus. Without those boundaries, you're constantly living reactively instead of intentionally pouring yourself into everyone else's needs while neglecting your own. The difficulty with boundaries is that they often make you feel guilty, especially if you're someone who's used to pleasing others. Saying no feels uncomfortable, turning down invitations feels selfish, creating space for yourself feels like you're letting people down. But the truth is, every yes you give without meaning it builds resentment, and resentment eventually poisons both your progress and your relationships. Protecting your time doesn't mean you don't care about people. It means you care enough to show up fully when it actually matters. Without boundaries, you're spread thin, always present but never present enough, always busy but never fulfilled. When you set boundaries, you're sending a clear message: my goals matter, my time matters, my energy matters. Not everyone will understand, and that's okay. The people who truly value you will respect your boundaries, and the ones who don't were never invested in your well-being to begin with. Boundaries act like filters. They show you who's really in your corner and who's just there to take from you. And as painful as that realization might be, it's also freeing because it clears the space for relationships and opportunities that align with your vision. Every dream you're chasing, every step you're taking forward requires energy and focus. And if you allow everyone else unlimited access to those resources, you'll never have enough left for yourself. Boundaries are the locks on the doors of your future. Without them, anyone can walk in, rearrange your priorities, and steal the progress you've been working for. With them, you create a space where growth can actually survive. You are the project. And until you start treating yourself like one, you'll keep waiting for life to change without realizing that change begins with you. Too many people put themselves on hold, waiting for the perfect time, waiting for external validation, waiting for some big opportunity to arrive and give them permission to start. But the reality is that there is no perfect time, no magic moment, no external sign that suddenly makes it all click. You are the sign. You are the project. The raw material is already in your hands, and every choice you make is either building you up or tearing you down. When you see yourself as the project, you stop outsourcing responsibility for your growth. You stop blaming circumstances, other people, or lack of resources, and you start looking at what's within your control. Every skill you develop, every habit you create, every lesson you learn, every boundary you enforce, it all stacks, it all shapes you into something stronger. The same way someone invests time and effort into building a house, you invest time and effort into building yourself. At first, it might not look like much, just small changes that nobody else notices, but over time the foundation grows, the structure takes form, and eventually the progress becomes undeniable. The reason most people never fully step into their potential is because they don't prioritize themselves, they pour into everyone else's dreams, give away their best energy, and save nothing for their own development. But you cannot build a life worth living if you treat yourself like an afterthought. You are not a side project. You are the main project. Everything else in your life, your relationships, your career, your success, depends on how well you invest in the person behind it all. If you are weak, scattered, and unfocused, everything connected to you will reflect that. But if you are disciplined, focused, and intentional, everything connected to you rises to meet that standard. Seeing yourself as the project shifts the way you live each day. You begin to realize that nothing is wasted when it's invested in you, whether it's learning, growing, healing, or working. You don't wait for change to happen, you create it because you finally understand that you are not just a participant in your life, you are the architect of it, and what you choose to build with yourself determines everything else that follows. At the end of the day, it all comes back to this. You only get one life, and every moment you waste is a moment you'll never get back. Your time, your energy, your focus, your boundaries, your discipline, your growth, these are not small things, they are everything. They are the building blocks of the life you're creating, and the truth is, nobody else can protect them for you. Nobody else can live your journey. Nobody else can build the future you want. If you spend your life distracted, comparing, saying yes to the wrong things, and giving your energy away, you'll wake up one day wondering where it all went. But if you choose to focus on yourself, if you start investing in your own growth, if you set boundaries and practice discipline, if you finally treat yourself like the project you've been waiting to start, then everything changes. Not overnight, not instantly, but gradually, powerfully, and permanently. This is your reminder that you don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need perfect timing. What you need is to decide that your life is worth the effort, that your time is worth protecting, and that your future is worth fighting for. Focus on yourself. Stop wasting your time. Build the version of you that you know you're capable of becoming. And don't let anything pull you away from that.